The world watches in disbelief and horror as the US nears a possible default. Okay, well, that's a scary headline. Let's all back away from the panic button and take a look for a quick minute. Okay, there's a ton of scary debt ceiling headlines right now. We don't need to add to the panic or continue to sensationalize the story, but let's dig in and review the facts and also see how this can impact our world in housing. Can't be that bad, right? Let's take a look at our debt ceiling history.
Good Lord, that's a lot of money.
Okay, sure, that is a lot of money, but it's not like we owe more than all of the goods and services produced and sold combined in America. I mean, that would just be silly, right? I mean, we require borrowers to have a debt-to-income ratio around 40% to buy a home. Surely the government follows similar rules, right? I mean, let's take a look at that. Okay, 129%.
Right.
Well, guys, 31 trillion in debt and a 129% debt to GDP ratio must have people feeling a certain type of way about our future. And there you go. A 68% chance of a recession now. Higher probability than 2020, the Great Recession, and the dot-com bubble. So yeah, makes sense. Thank you so much, Captain Obvious. I mean, keeping it lighthearted, guys, for a reason. No need to continue with a hot and heavy approach. We've had enough drama, so let's just keep it chill and put this into perspective for a moment. Believe it or not, this isn't the first time we've had a 129% debt to GDP ratio. It first started in 2020. True, most of my life, we've hovered around 60% debt to GDP ratio, but it quickly jumped to over 100% after the Great Recession. As you can see here, and believe it or not, we're not the only country well over 100%. We researched this as well. America is number 12 with Venezuela at number 1 with an alarming 350% debt to GDP ratio. Japan at 266%, and Sudan rounding out the top 3 at 259%. Okay, yes, these numbers are concerning, but I am confident that America will default and the debt ceiling will be raised. Why? Well, because we've done it 78 times since 1960, and no one wants to see what happens if we don't. We do need to figure it out, though, after that. At some point, someone's going to have to address this insane hockey stick debt growth. Now, does this have an impact on housing? I mean, yeah, technically it impacts everything. A default would mean even higher interest rates, and that would exacerbate an already concerning issue with the banking sector, amongst countless other dominoes to fall if the ceiling wasn't raised. So yes, it does impact everything, including housing. Again, historically, a deal will be made and the ceiling will be raised. So the impact for now is really just uncertainty in the markets, which is having an impact on mortgage rates. We've all expected them to come down, but there's several variables for the markets to consider and digest. Recession, inflation, bank turmoil, more rate hikes, debt ceiling, and debt to GDP ratio concern. Team, there's a ton to consider and juggle right now. I know some of us are mad that the rates haven't come down yet, but guys, keep in mind everything I just mentioned, and that is still at play. It's next to impossible to predict the next move and the future for housing and the American economy. One thing that is certain is we're walking a razor-thin line right now, but housing remains strong as we talked about last week, and demand isn't going away. Future still looks really bright for anyone in housing, but we do need to process all of the concerns we mentioned earlier. Hang in there, team. I know it's taking longer than expected, but I hope you understand why now. Share this with your teams at your next team meeting if they're getting antsy and don't understand why things haven't improved yet. And also, share it on social. The media will take this opportunity to sensationalize everything because, hey, clickbait. We tried to get a quick, level-headed explanation and commentary on the situation. I believe that's more useful than the Washington Post shock and awe approach. I don't know, you guys tell me. Share it, and we'll see you guys next week.